If you've ever played Final Fantasy Tactics, then you know that the early game can be absolutely brutal. Your characters are under-leveled at this point, your equipment is likely trash, and one bad turn can wipe out your entire party, resulting in permanent death or at least restarting combat. But here's the thing, if you know which skills to unlock first, you can get a huge advantage right at the start of the game, making everything easier moving forward. So today we're counting down the top 10 best starting abilities in Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. From skills you can use right away to abilities that you can use forever. And trust me, some of these skills will completely change how you approach your first dozen battles or so in Final Fantasy Tactics. Starting at number 10, we have the simple yet effective Counter Tackle ability. Counter Tackle is the very first reaction skill that you'll get on the Squire, and in those opening missions, it's basically free damage for you and your group. The way this works is anytime an enemy hits you in melee combat, you have the chance to hit them right back. And early on, that little bit of extra chip damage is a huge benefit. So while you take damage, you're also going to dish it out at the same time. If you don't know yet, every hit makes a huge difference in Final Fantasy Tactics. Just pair Counter Tackle with a movement boosting accessory like the movement boots early on, and suddenly your Squire can always reach someone on turn number 1. And when you combine Counter Tackle with Throw Stone, you've always got consistent ways to deal damage every single round, which is exactly what you need to survive those early levels in this challenging game. Speaking of, number 9 on this list is the Throw Stone ability. This one might not look great on paper, but it's absolutely essential in the early game for multiple reasons. First, remember that in Final Fantasy Tactics, you only gain experience and JP when you actually take an action during combat. Waiting does nothing for you in terms of leveling up your characters and jobs progression. So Throw Stone is literally the only ranged option you'll have for your Squire at the start to make sure they're dealing damage even if they aren't in melee range to earn that experience. This is a good thing. Plus, if you have multiple melee jobs on your team, enemies can often get surrounded, leaving your Squire with nothing better to do unless you have Throw Stone to deal damage from range. If you've got a low health enemy trying to hide or escape, Throw Stone can also be a quick finisher move to take them out. At number 8 on our list is the Focus ability from the Squire. Now, if Throw Stone is about always having an action, Focus is about always getting value for each turn. This ability boosts your physical attack power by 1 when you cast it, but even better, you can cast it on yourself at any time. This means you can spend early battles just stacking power while grinding job points to unlock better abilities for your team. The best grind spot by far in the early game comes right at the start in Mandalia Plains. Simply surround a final enemy so they can't move, and then your team can spam Focus over and over. It's definitely not flashy, but it's one of the fastest ways to push through the early levels to get the jobs and abilities you actually want. So for ultra fast progression, Focus is incredibly efficient, especially combined with some of the later skills on this list coming up. Number 7 here is Steel Heart from the Thief. The Thief doesn't actually have the strongest toolkit early on in Final Fantasy Tactics, but Steel Heart is a standout that can be insanely useful in the right situations. This ability lets you charm an enemy unit, turning them against their own team. Even if the hit rate looks low, the payoff is pretty insane. If you land this on the Knight or another big damage dealer, you can completely take them out of the fight, swinging the tide of battle in your favor. It's also a ranged ability, which makes it one of the best offensive tools for the Thief while you're grinding out those job points. 2 abilities in the early game offer this kind of instant crowd control, and when it lands, it is definitely a game changer. So check this one out if you don't mind rolling the dice. Every once in a while, you will definitely get lucky with it. Speaking of the Thief though, next up is the Move +2 ability, also from the Thief job. While it's a big investment, it's definitely worth every point. Movement is everything in Final Fantasy Tactics. Being able to reach higher ground, close gaps, or position for area of effect spells can literally decide the match in your favor. Now, the only real upgrade over Move +2 is Teleport from the Time Mage, and that costs a whopping 3000 JP, which means for most of the game, Move +2 is your best movement option. You can slap this on pretty much any unit and keep it there permanently. Of course, even before you get to the Thief job upgrade, you should grab Move +1, which is available on the Squire. Make sure you put this on every character as well initially, as it's fairly cheap to get early on and does make your team significantly more powerful for just this one ability. Coming in at number 5, we have the elemental magic damage spells, Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder, that come from the Black Mage. These abilities are all about raw damage and are your bread and butter nukes in the early game. I mean, even at level 1, These abilities can hit incredibly hard, can even one-shot some enemies, and the area of effect means you can punish groups of enemies standing too close together. The trick here is to unlock all three, since different enemies have different resistances and weaknesses in Final Fantasy Tactics. If you didn't know, you can actually hover over an enemy and test out all three types to see which one deals more damage. Again, this will be different depending on the enemy type, so make sure you experiment and test them out before you actually cast it. And don't forget, spells in Final Fantasy Tactics actually have friendly fire as well, so always check the turn order to make sure your allies are out of the blast zone before you drop a fireball on their heads. But if you're careful with timing, positioning, and turn management, these elemental abilities are an absolute game changer. Coming in at number 4, we have Magick Boost. Now, if Black Mages weren't strong enough already, as we've seen, Magick Boost turns them into early game killing machines. This ability increases your magic attack by a full 33%, essentially strapping a rocket launcher onto a class that's already pretty strong. The best strategy here is to grind with JP Boost during random battles, and then swap to Magick Boost as your main Black Mage passive for the more challenging story missions. That way, when it really counts, you can annihilate enemies with spells that scale far beyond what most jobs can handle at that point early in the game. Coming in at number 3, we have the item abilities from the Chemist, specifically Potion and Phoenix Down. Okay, yes, I'm cheating a bit here by putting two abilities in the same rank, but let's be real, Potion and Phoenix Down are the hands down best survival skills in the early game by far. Without these, those first two chapters can definitely feel impossible. With them, you suddenly have a reliable way to heal and revive across your entire squad. The best part is you don't need to keep everyone as chemists to use items. Just dip into the class long enough to unlock these abilities and then carry them into your next job as secondary effects. Every unit in your army should know Potion and Phoenix Down. They're the ultimate insurance policy that will make the game a lot easier moving forward. Coming in at number 2 on our list is JP Boost from the Squire. Now, JP Boost is incredibly important for when it comes to grinding out your characters and job points. In fact, I would say it's the single most important ability in the game for long-term growth. That is, of course, if you want to do things more quickly and efficiently. That's because JP Boost dramatically increases how much job points you earn for every combat action, nearly doubling your JP earned. This lets you power level through jobs at warp speed. This is how you unlock the good stuff in Final Fantasy Tactics early on without wasting hours grinding experience. You want to get Ninja, you're going to have to suffer through Archer, Thief, and Geomancer along the way, but with JP Boost, that suffering is cut way down. This is one of the smartest early investments you can make in the game, so make sure you drop it onto all your characters as early as possible. But that brings us to what I think is the best ability across the board in Final Fantasy Tactics, and that is Auto Potion from the Chemist. Auto Potion is without a doubt in my mind the king of all early game survival, and can even help you dominate late game. But this is basically God mode healing for all characters on your team. Plus it works against any attack, physical, ranged, spells, whatever, and it triggers automatically to heal you based on the potions available in your inventory. No more wasting turns healing because again, it's automatic. Now here's another trick with Auto Potion that will help you to use this ability even further into the story. Auto Potion always uses the lowest grade potion in your inventory, so once you hit chapter 2 or so, just sell off all of your regular potions and only carry high potions. And suddenly every time you take damage, you're healing for 70 HP instead of just 30, which is often more than the enemy even dealt to you in the first place. That means that as you progress through the game, your units can focus entirely on offense, and your fragile spellcasters can even survive hits that would normally take them down in a few turns. Sure, melee units might eventually prefer counter or first strike, but Auto Potion remains one of the most consistently powerful reaction abilities in the game, and with potions so easy to pick up, getting stocked on those early is never a problem at all. So there you have it, the 10 top best starting abilities in Final Fantasy Tactics. From simple grind tools like Throw Stone all the way up to game-breaking reactions like Auto Potion, these abilities are basically the difference between failure and survival in this game. Of course, I want to hear what you think as well. Let me know down in the comments section which of these skills do you grab first? And are there any skills that I missed? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that YouTube knows to share this video with others. That is much appreciated. Don't forget to check out our full guides over on the website. That's hacktheminotaur.com. Links for those are down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.